Welcome to the Dr. Nikki Starr Show, a podcast to support you in your spiritual awakening and personal development. As a spiritual teacher, healer, and intuitive coach, my intention is to empower you to live your ultimate potential and your ultimate life. As a former medical doctor and mystic, my role is to bridge the gap between science and spirituality to support you in understanding more of your multidimensional aspects. I share on a diverse range of topics, and it's all to support your greatest becoming. My mission is to continue reaching millions of people for the healing and awakening of humankind for the creation of the new earth. Thank you for being here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki Starr, and today I want to talk about the fall of the boss babe culture and the rise of the nourished feminine. We are in rapidly changing times. And as someone who grew up, born, bred, raised, educated in New York City, I know firsthand about being bred into the boss babe culture, where women traded their feminine wardrobes for masculine suits. Right? Where women really started to infiltrate into the financial world, where in my year in medical school, we had more women than men, I believe, for the first time. And even with feminism, right? Feminism, I do not feel was good for women. And actually, that's going to be a whole other episode. So I'm not going to talk about that today, but it's connected because the boss babe culture was really about women becoming more masculinized to go off and create their own businesses, which is amazing. I'm a huge fan of women creating business, creating it in a way that works for them and is sustainable. And that's where the move into the nourished feminine comes in. Because the boss babe culture was really all about us women succeeding with the measure of numbers, right? So how much your business did, how much money was in your bank account, what was your salary amount? And that was more important than anything else. Even more important than relationship for some women, right? There was a big, and this was part of that, the feminism culture, which was all about women don't need men. And that's really just not true. And for us women to really be satisfied and to feel nourished, we must have love in our lives. Even though some of us women, I was full on in the boss babe culture, even in terms of the success in the material realm with moving beachfront Malibu and driving my Porsche down the PCH and, living not just 1, 2, but 3 houses in Malibu and then, starting my business, wanting to reach high numbers and having multi-6-figure years, $500,000 a year. So I understand that this is and can still be a drive for us women, but it's like, where's the energy that it's coming from? Right? And boss babe is really that corporate energy. It's not corporate because of course you're entrepreneurial, but it's that energy of no matter what, there will be success and I will push forward. Even if I'm tired, I'm going to get it done. Even if whatever, I'm going to get it done. And that push, that drive, that force that oftentimes even went against your body and your clock and what really felt right and good. That's part of what happened in the boss babe culture. Even myself, before being boss babe entrepreneur, when I was a doctor in the hospital, the number of hours I was expected to work and did and accepted that I would work was not healthy. More than 12 hours a day,
in the hospital on my feet, even when I had my period. All of that, the complete ignoring of the body, of what the body's telling us. This is what was the shadow of the boss babe culture. No matter what, and it was more of a competition energy, right? Like who could be the best? All of that is falling. That is not sustainable for us women. And you know how we know? Because how many women and entrepreneurs have reached burnout? So burnout shows you when something is not sustainable, whether it's your salaried job. And even if you wanted to climb the ranks to be CEO or vice president or president or partner of whatever firm or company, to do that at the expense of your body, your internal clock, your cyclical rhythm with your menstrual cycle as a woman, that's the shadow of the boss babe culture. Because that's when women are and were expected to show up like men, which is like on every day. This is not true for women. This is not true for women at all. And so the move and the rise into the nourished feminine is giving women radical responsibility to create life, love, and business in a way that is sustainable for you, in a way that is nourishing for you, in a way that honors your cycles. You are a cyclical being. You're not meant to be on every single day. You're meant to work, create from overflow, your cup full, and then from there sharing your gifts with the world, because even the quality of what you put out will be felt so much more. The boss babe era was from the mind, whereas the nourished feminine space comes from the heart. And that's why I've created my mastermind, my master heart mastermind, because your heart is highly intelligent, and so is your body. And when we bring our consciousness and awareness out of the mind, which is a masculine ruling aspect of our being, doesn't mean that it's bad. It serves its function, of course. And even more wisdom resides within the body, within the heart space. So when you meditate or you reflect or you contemplate and you're listening for your next steps, for the actions you want to take, for your next $1 million idea, going into the space of the heart is where you can unlock so much beauty, so much wisdom, and do it in a way that's aligned with your soul and also your true heart's desires. I truly believe that women can have it all. You can have the thriving, loving relationship, the divine union, the kind of love you always dreamed of as a child and beyond. You are destined for that love. You are also destined to create your work, sharing your gifts with the world, your business in a way that works for you. Perhaps for you, that's 4 days a week. Perhaps for you, that's when you feel overflowing and alive, which that's when I really feel is the best time. So there is that balance between honoring, yes, I have a business and the function of a business or my job is to bring me money. That is one of the reasons we do it, right? And fully owning that. As a business owner, of course, the goal is to bring money in. And at the same time, it's not at the expense of you. It's not at the expense of your loved ones, because you're also meant to create a family in the way you desire. And that's looking different. Now we're really breaking free from the traditional nuclear family model, or even where, the male is the breadwinner. In this new generation, we're seeing a lot where the women are the breadwinners of the households. And we're having more house husbands and the husband supporting the family structure in other ways, but that the financial income is coming through the gifts of the feminine and the way that she's showing up to share her gifts with the world. And that's so beautiful. And gone are the days where there's any kinds of rules. We're really here to do it our way. And it's so beautiful, which means that we're setting what our desire is for income, how we're living, where we're living. You know, we're so blessed with the internet, with social media, that we can live anywhere in any way and create business however we desire. So for me, I love working from home. As you can see my background, I love writing, creating posts, seeing clients with this view. This makes me feel so nourished and so happy. I don't want to go into an office. For some of you, you might want that break from home. You might love going into an office, and that's great. And there's so many new models of co-working spaces. And so I share all of this to paint the picture of anything is possible. Life, love, business. You even get to create vacation time how you like. I'm such a big fan of women creating business in a way that works for them, because I even had clients leave corporate and start consulting firms so that they could work when they want, how they want. And so that means you get to take vacation when you like, however much you like. You get to do whatever you want, however you want. We're breaking free from all the rules, right? And this is truly what building your multi-millions and even into billions, because that's what some of us are reaching for, to do it in a way that's really sustainable and feels really good. At no point are you meant to dread your work, your life. In no way are you meant to feel like you have to sacrifice something. There is a solution for everything. And in the nourished feminine culture, spaciousness, and I already talked about creating from overflow. So there's no such thing as hustle. Hustle was the boss babe culture. The boss babe culture was like, I'm so busy and you're so cool because you're so busy. That's not what we're here to do anymore, because you're not meant to push against your body. And one of the other defining things about the boss babe culture was there was a big focus on like strategy, a lot of the masculine paradigm ways to build business, right? You follow this plan, you have this plan for a launch. Whereas in the nourished feminine culture, the strategy is your intuition. The strategy is, I'm feeling the energies of what are, because in every moment, things are changing. We're living life as a co-creation. Sticking to one plan can be limiting. It can serve, of course, in moments and ways. But what I have found in doing this work for over 12 years is a lot of women, especially women who left corporate world or just the 9-to-5 types of jobs to start an entrepreneurial business, were really stressing out about strategy and then weren't fully behind and energetically fully backing the strategy that was being used. So then it plopped. And this even happened to me. I worked with a marketing team for about a year, actually, exactly a year. And we worked on creating a funnel so I could create passive income. And the funnels were performing, the ads were performing excellent. Like there were high rates of click-through, et cetera. But in terms of conversion, it wasn't happening. And so for whatever reason, that strategy was not for me. It didn't work. Even though it's worked for so many people, it's tried and true, the way they were doing it just wasn't really working. And I remember sometimes with some of the graphics that was being created or some of the copy or the text, and then I shifted to create it my way and do it my way. And even still, like that marketing agency, they were looking at the ads, say, every week. Really, you're supposed to look at it every day, multiple times a day. So even I could feel within my body, like there's some aspects of it that are not fully resonant, that are not fully on board, and kind of like sticking to the plan, even when it doesn't feel fully aligned. That's more of that masculine paradigm structure, because the boss babe culture was and is more masculine structured paradigm where women were embodied as more masculine beings even though they're still feminine. And the thing that made it the boss babe culture is because, yeah, you're super hot and smoking and you can wear whatever you want and you're living your life of luxury, but there was still this hustle, push, numbers as the success measure. Whereas in the new nourished feminine paradigm, it's really about like, how regulated is your nervous system? How happy are you? How deeply embodied into your body in pleasure do you feel? How much do you love what you do? How much are you honoring your intuition in every moment and shifting course and changing course when it's calling to you? The flex is, how intuitive are you? And how quickly and in alignment can you listen to your intuition and take action and execute from that place of being in overflow? So we don't see burnout anymore. Because what happens is when women get burnt out, then you just think, I'm going to burn down my business, versus maybe you just needed some time off and a vacation. And if you were on it in terms of being more in tune with your body and what you need, then you can catch it sooner so that you don't get to that place of burnout. And it becomes about quality over quantity, where in the Boss Babe era, I had a big team and it was like so cool to have like such a big team. Whereas now we're seeing, as we move into the nourished feminine era, a lot of us are downsizing and have downsized. We've simplified. We've simplified so much so that there's more ease and flow. And it's less about managing all the dynamics, and it's less about the complexity, which is Boss Babe, and more about the simplicity. And so if any of this is resonating with you, inside of the bonus, I'm going to go through a process for you to listen in and tune into your heart, to really do an inventory on your life as to what is truly in alignment with your heart, with your soul, what I like to call your divine blueprint. And where are you operating from obligation because you think that's what you should do, versus where you're operating from highest truth, where you feel really nourished, safe, where you feel really inspired, and the energy is just there to take action. Because when you are embodied as the nourished feminine, it's really fascinating how it all pours forth. So when I know I'm really nourished, and when I create my best material and my best content, my best posts, is when I wake up in the morning, I start to hear the words of the posts. Or when I'm on my nature walks, I start to hear the words for a book, or I hear the new offer come through. So I'm very clairaudient. And because I'm a channel of words, my intuition often comes through the form of words. And so when you have enough spaciousness and you're stress free, so that you can relax enough to be able to receive and listen and hear, these are divine messages. That's the space from where you want to be creating. Anything else, when it comes from the mind, can be forced. And the energy behind that may not be as potent. And so with the nourished feminine era, it's really about doing less and receiving more. Because by doing less, that's when you do more, that's the hustle. Like you do so much that something has to stick, something has to land, something will eventually work, right? Because you're hustling, you're trying all these different things, go, 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 go. Whereas there's more of a, not so much calculated, I would say more intentional. That whatever transmission, whatever post, whatever words, whatever creation, whatever offer, products that you create from the nourished space are more intentional, and I feel are more spot on to what will bring you the success you desire. And that's why you do less, because there's more authentic and potent energy that's rooted in the heart, that's connected to your soul, that's backing what comes forth, that you share from that overflow space. Because also, abundance creates more abundance. And when you share from overflow, that is the abundance frequency. When you're in hustle, like gotta reach the numbers, more, but not more from gratitude because you're overflowing, more from because you haven't yet reached where you want to go. If you notice, there's a lack energy there. There's a bit of a scarcity energy there, even if it's millions, right? Even if you already had a six-figure month and you're going for a 7-figure month, if it's coming from, I need to reach the 7-figure goal, that's still from lack. And though you might be successful and eventually reach it, the sustainability is not there, because the sustainability can only be there when it comes and it's sourced from abundance. Then you are manifesting and creating true abundance. So getting you into this space of feeling most abundant you is the vibe of the nourished feminine. Your self-care, your healing, your personal development, your mentorship, that's as important as reaching your goals, because it is the vehicle through which you reach it in a sustainable way. So I invite you to join me inside of the bonus, where I'm going to be guiding you through this process to really listen and see, and how you can use the intuition of your heart and your body to see what is truly soul aligned for your highest timeline creation in love, life, and business, and what is not. And if you are watching this live in real time in the beginning of January 2025, and even within this month, I invite you into my Master Heart Mastermind, because this is the space that we create from that nourished feminine space. This is the space to create your multi-millions from that sustainable, heart-led, intuitive-led, feminine, nourished place, that abundance place that will allow you to receive even more abundance in the most aligned way, the aligned way of your soul and your heart. And that's what's really fulfilling. And so thank you. And that's also is really, truly success. And so with that, I send you so much love. I thank you for tuning in. Share this with anyone you feel would benefit. And I'll see you inside the bonus. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dr. Nikki Starr Show. Please like this podcast and share it with anyone you feel would benefit. Subscribe to the podcast to receive bonus content, and remember, every Monday the video version goes live on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being on the ascension path with me and for doing this great work.